my stream. Welcome to my live stream and Merry Christmas. I hope you all have a great time, alone or with your family. Just take a little bit of time off of the stressful life that we have. I hope you are all right. I hope you make it through everything here. It's almost a new year, and maybe the next year will be a little bit better. Who knows? It's about to happen eventually. At some point, it can't always go down, so there has to be a point when things are getting better again. So yeah, trying to be hopeful here, and I'm glad to be back. Glad to stream again. Christmas edition. I mean, we will keep the Christmas tree for a while. This is the winter tree. It's not only the Christmas tree, it's the winter tree. Yeah, and I brought a lot of seedlings that I want to go through. I brought seeds to clean. And I also have books that I want to sign and number. I had an order and I want to get them out very soon. DHL isn't really coming right now due to they're done now, I think, with their work. But these will go out after the holidays. So yeah, let me get started. I want to go through the containers just to get started with everything. And then we'll see what we do. I have so much stuff to do. Okay, so let me see here. These are looking great. Healthy seedlings, guys. Can't see any fungus gnats, and the soil is pretty dry. So definitely pays off to have the soil a little bit drier. Next one. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Just going through the seedlings, and aside from that, Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you have a great time at home. Not working, hopefully. I know a lot of people have to work, even on holidays, so I just hope you get a little bit of time off there. So yeah, in this one, very healthy seedlings also. Not seeing anything bad with it. I can just close it up again. This is great. This is the type of stuff that is really loving the setup that I have here with the lamp. Having a good growth rate right now in the middle of winter. So yeah, let me see what's going up here. Okay. Seedlings look okay. And if you want to see the part where we've sown them out, go back to maybe a month ago, or maybe 1.5 months ago. Shown a lot of the sowing out in the stream. And now I'm just checking the seedlings. Looking great, actually. A little bit too wet, a little bit too deep. I always criticize that when I'm sowing out too deep. It just takes away unnecessary light. But for now, it's not a problem. It will become one later, but at that point, we might already repot them again. So yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Great to have you around. Already started with the seedlings here. And apart from that, happy Christmas to everyone, in case that's something you celebrate. Yeah, these are looking good. One seedling may be a little bit fungus gnat infested, but doesn't have to be. And the others are looking so good that it doesn't matter. So I can just close this up again. Check them out. Really healthy cactus seedlings. Keeping them in the bag for at least another 2 months or so. For now, everything is going great. If there's no reason to take them out of the bag, I will not do it. So here, Christmas trees were already moving. Need to get here. And this is one of the containers where I transplanted into washed pumice. And I already see that we lost quite a few of them. As suspected, but it's still annoying. Check this out. I'm not sure if you can notice it, but there are a few seedlings that are gone. And everything of them needs to be removed. All the remnants, organic material. Okay. So here also, they basically melt. Sorry, the seedlings melt. And all of them are the beginning of a fungal infection. So it doesn't mean that the fungal infection was the actual reason that it happened. But once the seedlings were lost, probably due to the fungus gnats, the secondary fungal infection just followed. It was just a natural reaction to that. So now it's important to take everything out that can infect the other seedlings. And that's what I'm doing right now. But this cross had real problems. Real problems with fungus gnats, I believe. It was so bad that I transplanted them into the washed pumice very early on. So, and now it's continuing. You can see that some of them just don't have roots. And that is the big problem. So we might lose a few more here and there. This seedling doesn't look good. What's with this one? Also doesn't look good. Here's a fungal infection. This is really bad. These are really bad. And again, fungal infection. In this case, it is a follow-up reaction to either fungus gnats constantly chewing on the roots, or too much heat that resulted in a whole wave of seedlings that were lost at once. Okay, I've been looking into them, and the seedlings that didn't make it, they all have one thing in common, and it is the lack of a root system. And that is probably the reason here. I think we are still looking at the aftermath of the fungus gnats. So yeah, and welcome to my stream, guys. Cactus stream, but also my Christmas stream. Just doing a little bit of both. Great to have you around, guys. Thank you for participating in this thing. Okay, I will close it up again. I think I got most of the infected seedlings out. It's possible that one or two of the remaining seedlings will also disappear eventually, but for now, I want to give them a chance. Okay. So let me see. In this container, for one, I noticed something that I do not like, and it's when there's a huge gap here around between the soil and the pot. You see, when you water, seedlings can be swept into that. So the first thing that I want to fix is closing that gap. Just with the pencil here, just pressing against it a little bit, closing that. to make sure that the seedlings aren't swept away. That can happen easily, and it's unnecessary. Okay, apart from that, very small seedlings. One of them looks like it might already be infected, so I take that one out. I just don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk having a fungal infection in there when I can avoid it. Seedling looks milky. When they become like that, they usually don't make it, so it will go out. The others are okay, but very small. Okay. All right. Let me see here. I will close it up again. The seedlings are just too small to do much. Even if there were some fungus gnats in the soil, I wouldn't be able to do much because they are the seedlings are so small that transplanting them into the pumice wouldn't work. I would probably need even finer pumice for that, and I don't have that around right now. Okay, so I got books to number, so I want to do that first. So I always have my manual list of numbers, and I'm hand numbering them, putting in the consecutive number. So this is 623. Okay. Next one. And this is the first book. And I already went through it everywhere. I always check the books to make sure that there are no problems, that everything is no print errors and all that stuff. So I'm always going through that. And right now, this is the book 935. Had a lot of missing numbers, missing books. So we are getting close to the end here. And signing it and stamping it. I already brought a piece of kitchen paper. This is such a ridiculous work to always stamp the books. I will not do it again. Next book I do will not be stamped. But apart from that, that's it. Okay. Let me continue with the seedlings. And I want to show you something that I brought from outdoors. I brought a bunch of seedlings from the greenhouse. Check it out. And I noticed that these were incredibly dehydrated at this part of the pot and very well hydrated on the other side of the pot. I found that a little interesting, and I want to put them in a closed bag to allow them to hydrate a little bit, just for maybe 3 weeks or so, just to give them indoors a little bit of summer feeling. So yeah, I will try to put it in a bag here that I can close up, that allows the plant to take in the water. When you have seedlings that are very dehydrated, sometimes it can help to put them back into high humidity. And these are so spiny that I barely get this thing into the pot. I might not be able to close it, but I will try. Let me see here. Okay. This is bad because you have the cactus exactly at that point where you where you need to touch if you want to zip it up, if you want to use the, you want to close it up. So this bag is just too small for that. I need a different one. This is just bad. I will close up what I can, and that will already help. I just want to leave it in, maybe for a week, so that the seedlings can take in the water. Yeah, it's not getting better, but it will do the trick. It will allow the seedlings to hydrate a little bit more, and then we'll see what I do with it. Okay, let me continue. This is a big container full of tiny, tiny seedlings. They look great, but too young. At this point, you just can't do anything. Even if you wanted to transplant them now, even if you wanted to move them elsewhere, it would have to be very carefully, and very often it makes sense to just wait a little bit longer. There are problems that require you to do it right away, but I'm not seeing that right now. This is Teleflora, right? Yeah, Teleflora. So I'm positively surprised by the viability of the seeds. This is good. Teleflora often has these tiny seeds, and when I looked at them, I didn't think that they would come up. So positively surprised. Okay, so here, it's interesting how evenly they are distributed through the container, the seedlings. Apart from that, it all looks great, healthy. Here's a seedling that fell over. I will try to correct that. I'm not sure if this is a fungus gnat kind of thing, but for now, they look mostly all right. Okay, we'll close that up again. Okay, next one. Healthy looking seedlings. No fungus gnats. And a bunch of the first set of spines. So that's great. All good. If they would all look like that, that would be great. But you always have the ones that just want to disappoint you. It's like in real life. So yeah, check this out. There's some moss, I believe, but it is limited to a little area, not spreading, and that's often for me a sign that okay, it can stay. If the moss becomes a real nuisance, then I would take it out. Apart from that, the seedlings look great. I'm just trying to read the label, but the label is so close to the seedlings that I don't want to do it, that I don't want to move it. But looks okay. Welcome to the stream, guys. Great to have you around. Merry Christmas, everyone. So let me see what's going on here. Yeah, Uwe Kahle hybrids, healthy seedlings, no fungus gnats. There is some moss, and it's getting to a point where I consider removing it. It surrounds a bunch of seedlings, and when it surrounds them, it creates a constant microclimate of humidity there, and I really don't like that when it does that. I don't mind a little piece of moss here and there, but hey, Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining the stream. Great to have you around. And also hoping to get a better year. Hope the next year will be better. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm actually hopeful. I don't want to become too hopeful, but a little bit hope I really have. Just statistically, at some point it must get better again. So I'm just hopeful. If you look at the last 100 years, and how it went, we should be at a point where at some point it's going up again. So yeah, green seedlings, nice and green, healthy. It's a hell of a lot of work, but apart from that, they look great. And I'm happy that there are no fungus gnats in these here. Yeah, I want to say it again. They now have that new function where you can reply to a comment with an audio message, and I will probably use that in the next couple of weeks. I want to experiment with that. I'm not sure if it works. Sometimes they bring a function, a new function, and it just doesn't translate into when you try it out. But I will definitely try to when I get a question that requires a little bit more in-depth reply, then I might try that out sometime soon. So yeah, apart from that, I'm in a celebration mood here. I'm not really doing much. Just trying to give Kami. I've spent time with Kami this morning. I was already out with her once. But the cat went out down the stairs, and while it was down, it already turned around and went back in. So it's pretty cold. Not really much to do. Even Kami is glad that she's indoors right now. Healthy seedlings also in this one. These are all looking pretty decent. I haven't seen the big problems that I sometimes saw in the others. So you can really see that at some point the soil got contaminated. Apart from that, all okay. It's getting cold. Temperatures in Germany are getting pretty, I guess maybe -5, -10, but it just feels so much colder because it's windy. Yeah, it suddenly started to become cold. A week ago, the sun was out. But yeah, they talked about maybe getting white Christmas, snow for Christmas, but it really didn't happen so far. I don't think it will happen, but theoretically it's possible. Yeah, and everything is silent right now. People aren't doing much. People are glad that they don't have to go out. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy when you're always with that difference in regard to the temperatures to Australia, where it's like summer now, excessive. So yeah, I still remember how bad it was in early spring with the heat. And so I got to say, I don't envy you with that kind of a heat. In last summer, I was really suffering, and it was something like 38. 38 in the bedroom, and since I don't have a air conditioning, that kind of stuff, it was really tough. I had the bedroom fan was running all the time, and it was not helping, not at all. I don't know. The older I got, the more problems I have with the heat, and it was even worse. I mean, I lost a lot of weight since last year or last couple of years, and before, when I still had a little bit more weight, it was even worse. Every summer I felt like I might not make it. I don't know. And yeah, since I lost a little bit of weight, that has become a little easier this year. It was the first summer where I only felt like I won't make it on a few days. So that was a step into the right direction. Yeah, I'm pretty wise by now. I think I have achieved enough wisdom. It's enough. But yeah, I think I might need an air conditioning if the trend with the heat continues to be like that we get so much heat that you just can't stay indoors. Indoors it was even worse than outdoors where I was. I don't know. The house is super hot in summer and ice cold in winter. I don't know what it is. Normally you would think you have the perfect range somewhere in between, but it's not like that. In summer it heats up very fast, and in winter it cools down. So yeah, these are looking okay-ish, looking good. I mean, we have what will we do with all the cactus seedlings on this channel? Maybe we should bring in a few more of the fungus gnats. We have too many seedlings. There's just too much we need to take care of. This is going to be serious work. I don't want it. Welcome to the Fungus Gnat channel. So yeah, these are looking good too, but small, very young seedlings, just sprinkled on top of the soil and came up maybe 3 weeks ago. Lobivia winteriana. I will really try to get these to a large size. In the past, I always sown them out and the seedlings look great. And then I put them in the greenhouse and the slugs ate them or something happened. The Lobivia winteriana, ironically, they don't take a lot of frost. So every time I have them in the greenhouse in winter, they don't make it. So in the future, they will stay inside where I can see them, where I can keep an eye on them. And then when they are big enough, then I put them out. But not anymore like that. I used to sow out so many good things and throw them in the grinder in the greenhouse. Not doing that anymore. Hey, Andrea. Great to have you around. Merry Christmas and all that. Okay. Here's a seedling that didn't make it. And here's one of those tiny seedlings that come up and never grow. Okay. Apart from that, everything okay in this container? Yeah, I'm great, thank you. I hope you are too, and everyone else here in the stream. Hope you have a great time. Okay. Yeah, these are looking good. Just closing it up again. I mean, seedlings. There are 1 or 2 seedlings that are tiny, like they are not fully developed, delayed. And yeah, I will take them out, but I want to give them another chance to maybe turn it around. Every now and then you get a nice, interesting mutant from these delayed kind of seedlings. These are looking good. but with variegation. Some of them totally different kind of color than the other seedlings. Yeah, I love Lobivia winteriana. It's an amazing species with such amazing flowers, and I haven't seen offspring of it that was really bad. Even the offspring that I had of it that had tiny flowers eventually had amazing color. There's so much potential in the species. But yeah, every now and then some of them don't make it through winter. They are rather cold sensitive. When I recently, and when I say recently, I don't mean recently. This was at least 7 years ago. I bought Lobivia seedlings from a big nursery, and all of them didn't make it through winter. All the same clone. I mean, it probably plays a big role how you harden up the plants. But that is just a species where that happens a lot. That it needs the right kind of setting over winter, the right temperature, the soil needs to be dry, that kind of stuff. And Lobivia winteriana, I lost maybe 3 or 4 plants, and I have grafted maybe 10, 15. Every now and then I need to replace them, graft new. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Andrea. Hope you're getting better. When I had COVID, I got pretty ill. That was maybe 2 years ago. Not when was it? When it was so bad, 2022, I think, something like that. I got it at that time, and I was pretty sick. And yeah, my wife at the time was pretty sick. This is a lot of people that have long-term effects, so I hope everything will be all right. So yeah, let me go through here. These are very young seedlings, just come up, born to be wild. And yeah, at this point, they are just tiny. You can't really say anything about them. They might be the worst seedlings of all time, but for now they look great. So I will close it up again. And with Born to be Wild, I usually have great flowering offspring. So let me see here. What's going on here? These are looking great. Yeah, we are growing a lot of cacti here. I'm not sure if I like it. There are just too many. Probably have to single out later, but for now this is going to be great. There's always something to discuss on the channel. Okay, so here's something. I'm not sure what happened here. Check this out. There's a seedling that's lying on top of the others, like something dug it out. Could have to do with just handling the container. I just hope there's no insect in it. Apart from that, seedlings look great. Closing it up again. Time of the Christmas tree. Okay, yeah, these are looking great also. A lot of the containers that I'm going through today, they were drier. It's just a theme that the containers that were a little bit drier, they are healthier. They just don't have the climate that fungus gnats love so much, and they have it a little bit harder there, and that can already be enough. Okay, so in here, a total mess. I would love to just throw the whole thing in the trash, but I don't want to give up so early. So 1 or 2 seedlings just didn't make it here. And this is the ones that we transplanted into washed pumice. And it's exactly what I meant when we did it. A lot of them will not make it. And it's already, that decision had already been done long before we transplanted them. They wouldn't have made it either way. So right now we just have to wait and see how many of them will follow. If we can save a bunch of them, it will be in the washed pumice. I don't think in the very organic soil we would have gotten rid of them. But I'm taking everything out that looks disgusting. And it takes everything not to just dump the whole thing, because I hate when something like that happens because the whole thing is full of spores now. That's generally not a good thing. Okay. I'm pretty sure that maybe 1/3 of the seedlings has a chance. That I had something slimy on my hand. I don't know what it was. I don't want to know. Yeah, the fungus gnats are pretty bad. At this point, we will definitely try out a mineral soil just for sowing out, just to test it, just to show it, to see how much better it will be with the fungus gnats and what other kind of problems we will get instead. Okay, here's a fungus gnat. I see it. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in the fungus gnat for causing so much problem. Yeah, but apart from that, 1 or 2 seedlings have brownish discoloration, and that is something that I also see with fungus gnats. So they don't only attack the roots, but they also cause these little injuries at the top. They are just sucking the chlorophyll out, and what remains is often just a bunch of spines and a little bit of mold. I'm not sure. We will, at some point, I will have to transplant them in this container. Yeah. I'm just deciding if I want to do it now or if I do it later. Most of the seedlings still look okay. So I will close it up again, but if I see fungus gnats in this one again, I will transplant them. I just hate it. This is empty and this is empty. Okay. Yeah, this was the seedlings. Happy with it. Only got a few fungus gnats here and there. Okay. This is Teleflora, also seeds. And I've been cleaning those yesterday. So later today, I want to watch some of the Christmas TV movies, like the classic Christmas movies. I just hope that I will get Gremlins. I want to watch Gremlins. Yeah, and maybe some of the other stuff. We'll see. But I definitely need to watch some Christmas movies this time. A lot of the seeds in this cross, in this Teleflora fruit, they look unviable. A lot of them. There are a bunch of viable seeds here and there, but almost everything below a certain size didn't really develop fully here. And that is something that I see a lot with Teleflora. Teleflora is a hybrid between Cerenzia telegona and Echinopsis irisi grandiflora. And I mean, genetically, it's a wide hybrid. It's between two different genera, and I wouldn't say they are closely related. If you look at the way Cerenzia telegona looks like, it's a pretty prostrate growing plant, grows a lot like Hageocereus. So there's a pretty big distance between both of the parents. And of all the crosses, of all the fruits that I had, I rarely have very healthy looking fruits of Teleflora. It's a classic hybrid. It looks amazing, but just genetically, yeah, not good, not terrible. Okay. The seeds here are so small, and that makes it kind of difficult to find the viable and to distinguish between them, to separate the viable from the unviable ones. It's not easy here. Even the viable ones could be small. But if I leave it all in, it's just a mess. And I don't like messes. But this year, I was really positively surprised by how many fruits the Teleflora mother plant had. I have a pretty big mother plant, and 7 fruits were on it. So that was pretty awesome. I never had a year like this. Yeah, I hope you like them. There will be many more coming up. I've already uploaded maybe 80, 90 videos, but I'm trying to post the stuff not at once, but always through the day, and every now and then I forget. But they are coming. A lot of videos coming up. And once I'm done with these, this is just a great year with great videos, and I just hope that people will like them to get through winter. And winter is almost, I mean, it's not long. In March, we already start again with the new season. So, yeah, just a little bit to cover the time. I look quite different in the older videos. That is just something that I can't influence. At the time when I filmed the videos, the older ones, I wasn't healthy. I was taking a lot of cortisone for the problems that I have with the immune disease that I have. So in the older videos, I sometimes look a lot bigger, but it wasn't really healthy kind of size. I'm much healthier today. At least that's how I feel Feels great being able to walk to the mailbox again without completely getting behind. Okay. You really need to feel every seed here. They are so small that the viable ones and the non-viable ones, they can look the same. If you look at them from the wrong angle, if you don't feel them. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Everything is pretty clean now. Thank you. I try. I mean, I'm not healthy, but I will have problems for the rest of my life, but it's okay. I've had, it was pretty bad during that time, so I'm just very happy that it's not like that anymore. I can, with the way it is now, I can deal with it. I don't have to be in great, perfectly healthy. I've been having problems my whole life, but that was a particularly bad time. And if you look at the videos look great. Everything was great in the videos, but I just wasn't healthy. And yeah. So looking back, losing weight might have saved my life in a way, a little bit. Okay, yeah, I will back these up now. Teleflora. I just thought I heard a barking dog. Not sure why. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Doing my best. I always have to be careful that I don't have too much stress. I just can't have stress anymore. Apart from that, I'm okay. When you are able to work a little bit without the stress, when you have some sort of protection, then it's a different kind of working also. You just need a little bit of rest. You need to be able to focus on your work, and that has gotten a lot easier. So yesterday I watched a show that is very famous locally from where I was born. As a Saarländer, I was born in Saarland, Germany. That's some sort of a area in between Germany and France. And in that area, people just have a certain kind of living, a very unique dialect and all. And I always watch an episode of some sort of a local sitcom called Familie Heinz Becker. That's some sort of it's just classic family kind of sitcom, but with a lot of focus on the dialect. People talk a lot about the dialect, and it's just an amazing show that we always used to watch when I was a child. And I watched it again yesterday. That thing is on YouTube, and that's how I watched it. So yeah. And I think they also made a special episode for New Year's Eve, but I gotta look into it again. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they also have one. And that features the dialect a little bit. The dialect is just interesting here. Yeah, I can't deal with stress anymore. I just can't. It's the moment I have stress, I start to really get problems. I used to do a lot of eBay stuff in the past when I was younger. I've been an eBay seller professionally for different, where I worked, different companies and all, just doing eBay. And I did it very professionally. And I always had a lot of stress. I was used to stress. But when I recently, maybe 3 years ago, where I tried to do a little bit of eBay just to support, because my wife wanted to buy a car and stuff like that. So I tried doing eBay again, and within short time, my nerves were so bad that I had to stop again. I couldn't do it anymore, because this kind of stuff just involves a lot of, you need distance. You always need to be professional, friendly. Also, when people mistreat you, that kind of stuff, when I'm on eBay, you always have that one customer that is just not, I don't know. At the time when I was doing eBay, I was selling something and it was already sold below value. It was some vintage clothing stuff, and the thing was already below value. And then the guy complained, and I said, okay, send it back. I will do a full refund, no problem. And I did a full refund, and the guy just didn't send the item back. That kind of stuff, that kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. And that frustrated me so that I stopped with eBay again. I only did a few sales, and then that was it again. And when you have complaints about stuff that goes missing, you always have to put in a lot of effort to inquire to the post agencies of the world, to find out what happens, where was the package sent, and it just involves so much stress that I can't do anymore. That's also why I don't ship. Why I don't like to ship a lot of stuff. It's just too stressful. Hey, I'm seeing a different color. I don't know what it means, but thank you. Seems like you are supporting the channel, so I thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't know how it works, but it looks great. Looks very impressive. It's green. Hey. So yeah, taking a step back from the stress. And it's not easy. Sometimes life is just stressful, so you can't always do it, Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm cleaning seeds, doing stuff, just talking about. I did a lot of eBay in the past. Merry Christmas, everyone. Great to have you around. I once sold a lot of cacti that I didn't have space for. I had so many cacti when I took over a collection, and I couldn't keep it all, so I sorted out a bunch of them. So I always did a fair amount of eBay selling, just selling a few plants. So I do not, because I didn't have the space to keep them, and they were great plants. So over the years, I sold quite a bunch of really good kind of cacti. And on eBay, it's so difficult. I still remember, and that was maybe 15 years ago, when I sold the big Cactus, the barrel kind of cacti. And that thing was huge. It was flowering age. It was like 60 centimeters tall and wide. And I shipped that thing to Austria. And it took a while until that package arrived. The package was en route for a good 3 weeks. And when the package arrived, and the package had to be super, that is a super spiny cactus. So I had wrapped it with plastic to make sure it doesn't puncture, like the spines don't get through the package. And eventually there went so much work into this thing, and the person who bought it gave me a negative rating because it took so long, because it was on the route for so long, simply because of the size, because it was such a huge kind of package that it took forever to arrive. And that's a perfect example for eBay. You get so many negative ratings that you often can't influence, or you would just have to stop offering something that is really rare, that is really good. So yeah, it's a difficult setting, and I'm just glad that I'm not doing it anymore. Okay. So these are very small seeds. Seed size looks like Sörensia, and it is Hyalacantha. I have on the label, I have Sörensia formosa Hyalacantha. Thank you. Thank you. The flower videos look great. I'm very happy. I hope next year we can do even better. In spring, when the flowering happens and all, the stream will be amazing. I can already tell you that. Right now the stream is already great, but we're just doing the classic indoors Christmas cactus activity. But when the flowers come and when I'm actually streaming from outdoors, that will be great. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Yeah, tiny seeds. And I probably, while I was cleaning those, I probably washed away most of them. The tiny Sörensia seeds, and the smaller they are, the more difficult it gets. It's just difficult to clean them in a sieve, because even the finest sieve that I have isn't fine enough to hold the seeds. So you often just wash them away by accident. You put them in the sieve and then you realize, oh, they are washing through below. And by that time, it's usually too late. Over here, I have maybe 50 seeds, and it might not be all that I got. I'm pretty sure I lost a lot looking at this here. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the flowers are great. I'm very happy about that. Everything looks great. In that regard, I'm very happy with everything. And you never know. Every year we get to see new ones, because so many that I have are from own seeds or something that I've grown, and every year new ones flower for the first time. So you never really know what kind of a flower you will get. Sometimes you a plant flowers that one year and never again, or another one flowers for the first time the next year. It's always different. I don't know what causes it, but every year something else, something new happens, and that is what makes it special. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to clean this too much, because even the small seeds might be viable. This is one of the plants that has tiny seeds, and at that point I can no longer guarantee that what I'm sorting out is actually not viable. So I will just leave it like that, and then we will try sowing them out. Thank you. I'm doing my best. I can't really say that I'm doing great, but I'm just happy that the problem with the window is over, that I'm finally able to overwinter, that the heater is running, and it is running throughout the winter. I have enough heating that the winter is settled. My big problems always happen in winter because it's an old house and it's not so easy to fully heat it. And every year when it gets cold, the heating costs are immense, pretty expensive to heat, and that's always a challenge. So I'm always a little bit frustrated until I get to the point where I can just lean back and focus on coming through the winter. Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate it. The next years will be interesting because now we are finally getting to the point when also a lot of my own hybrids are flowering. I often show a lot of flowers and hybrids from other breeders. So I find it always important to say that I have the pleasure to show the hybrids here after they also did an immense job making the cross, producing the hybrids and all, producing the cacti. And when I'm showing something like pink stripes or the famous hybrids, it's a thankful job because the plants are amazing. So I feel like I'm just doing a little part, and I'm always happy when it looks great, when the video looks great. I've been feeding the birds in the last few days. Now that it's colder, I'm always doing my part to make sure that the flower videos in summer stay like they are, with a lot of bird chirping in the background. Okay. So these are from a hybrid cross with Sörensia hyalacantha. Hyalacantha is an old plant where people didn't really know where to put it. It was originally described as Echinopsis hyalacantha. It probably had was called Lobivia hyalacantha before that. And the plant is clearly a Sörensia, clearly a relative of Sörensia formosa. And in this case here, I crossed it with something like Lobivia winteriana. I wanted to, because the flower is yellow, and I wanted to kind of combine that and improve the color. And Lobivia winteriana could be great. Could be a great cross. We need to sow that out. Thank you. Okay. So many seeds here, and if I don't clean them, it's a waste of amazing kind of stuff. So I'm trying to move on with the seeds. There are just so many. Okay. And these are from a Volta Lake cross. Volta Lake Cantora. By the way, I've seen a plant from that cross flowering, and it looked amazing. This year, I've seen quite a few good hybrids from Australia. And this one, top notch, was really good. So I really recommend that if you are growing one of those from the Volta Lake hybrids that I sent around in the last years, they could be really good. Flowers were huge, beautiful, nice color. Volta Lake is just a good hybrid. Follow-up hybrid of Orange, California. Okay. Yeah, a little bit dirty, but it's okay. We can clean that. I would love to sow out again. I have a bunch of really good ones that I want to sow out, but there's no more space. I'm not sure if we can do it. We'll see. I've had talks with breeders, with friends of mine, and they said they have completely stopped sowing out. But since that's such a big part of the hobby for me, that is fun, I don't think I can do that. I just love sowing out. Yeah, I have a few good yellow ones. So I try to always have something that is yellow and always something that is like violets with the reddish, with the pinkish, purplish kind of strong contrast. And I always try during the flower season to have them available at all times. So I have different species that are flowering at different times. But in the last years, it didn't work reliably anymore. In the last years, the yellow ones came very late in the season, came very at the end. And at that point, I already had the plants that I needed them for had already flowered. So sometimes I'm freezing the pollen of these yellow flowering hybrids, so I can make crosses with them even when they are not flowering. So just cleaning everything up here. Later, we'll try to go out with Kami again. We'll see if she wants to go out. Earlier today, I opened the door because the cat wanted to go out, and she just made it halfway down the stairs. And when she was down, she turned around and wanted to get back in. It's really uncomfortably cold. Feels really bad right now. I hope that right now there aren't too many animals out there that don't know where to go. I always, when it's getting really, really cold, I always keep an eye out what's going on outside. And the birds right now, doing a lot of birds feeding just here in the forest, and they are eating a lot right now because they aren't finding enough. Okay. I think they are clean enough right now. Not perfect, but it's okay. Andrea, I just saw the question about the best growing medium for starting seeds. I really recommend sowing soil. Just classic sowing soil. Nothing fancy, because the more specialized you do it, the more problems can happen where you need to know how to act. And sowing soil is just a medium where you can do very little wrong. It's just made to sow out. In general, seedlings need a little bit more humidity, a little bit more water, and you often have that with classic sowing soil. And still, sowing soil, it behaves very differently to classic plant soil, because it doesn't compact the way the classic plant soil often does. So you have a medium that can get wet and dry and get wet and get dry again, without the soil turning into a massive brick. So that makes it useful. And also, it's the tiny seedlings just need a little bit stability a solid position in the soil, and they find that with sowing soil. I've shown the washed pumice a few times now, and every time I handle it, the seedlings move a little bit just by pressing tight carefully. You can already change the structure inside the pot, and for very small seedlings, that's not good. You can certainly mix a complete mineral mix, but you need to know how to do it, and it requires a lot of different minerals, different additives to make the soil perfect. And if you aren't really a commercial breeder, it creates more risk for unforeseen problems than it helps. You really need to know how to use the soil, the mineral kind of stuff, because very often, depending on where you live, the mineral soil might even be too fast draining. There are people that live in a country that gets excessive heat, and in these countries, a little bit more organic soil just doesn't create so many different situations where you need to know exactly what to do to counterbalance. So yeah, classic sowing soil is a great thing. Okay, Walter Lake, Cantora Gelb. No, Walter Lake crossed with Cantora Orange and Gelb. Cantora Gelb. Fruit harvested on August 30th. Okay. Next one, Arboricola. Arboricola crossed with variegated grandiflorus. Not many seeds, like always. The Arboricola, the fruit is pretty small. Sometimes 100, sometimes 200. But the general tendency on those misplant Arboricola hybrids that the fruit is pretty small. But what the fruit doesn't have in size, the seedlings make up in just explosive growth. They grow very fast. They are not hard to grow. Arboricola is one of the plants that I always recommend, especially to beginners. It is easy to keep it alive, and it flowers easily. It has a lot of flowers. It's one of the really good plants that I personally, where I never really thought it would be so great. But once I saw it, and the more experience I got, the more I appreciated Arboricola, Sorensia arboricola. It's just an interesting species. Earlier this week, someone posted photos of another species that looked very much like Arboricola. And in that case, it was Sorensia vasquezi, I guess. Or is it Echinopsis vasquezi, where they put it? But it doesn't matter. The plant looked very much like a close relative of Arboricola. So, and it's, I just looked at the flower and the kind of the way the body looked, and it was like I could really see the genetic connection between the two plants. Sometimes you see a plant, but only after you've seen it, where it grows and how it grows and how it flowers and all that. And when you see something like that in front of you, it makes it very easy to see the connection between plants on a genetic level. I'm 100% sure that these species are somewhat connected. could have just, maybe they have a common ancestor or they are directly related, but you can see that something is present in both of them that connects them. And I'm looking forward, next year we will be able to show even more arboricola hybrids. I did follow-up hybrids with arboricola that are now flowering. So it could be great. There will be a lot of stuff that where I'm looking forward to see the flowers. And in the next season, I want to keep a closer eye on the parents of the crosses again. This year it was a special year because I was so fed up with everything that I sometimes didn't really keep track enough of the parents. But in the next season I'll do it again. I was just tired this year. It was such an exhausting year. So I kind of needed a break. I mean, it depends on what kind of a soil you locally have. Sometimes the local soil can be great. It depends. In general, the soil might be a little bit too fast draining. Where I live, I have a pretty sandy kind of soil, and also with clay, with loam, that kind of stuff, and that soil would probably be too fast draining for seedlings. But it really depends. Some people have a great soil locally. It can work. Just try it out and keep an eye out whether the soil is able to maintain enough water, enough humidity or not. It is in a closed container, but it still plays a role that the roots can take in the nutrients, that kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. This is almost clean. I'm just removing little pieces here and there. I think I collected a good 10, 15 fruits of arboricola this year. Either arboricola or the misplant hybrids. It was, so far, it was the best year for arboricola. Arboricola is one of those plants, the moment it is present in a hybrid cross, the cross automatically becomes an arboricola hybrid. I haven't seen a hybrid with arboricola where arboricola wasn't visible in the body and clearly visible. It is a very dominant kind of plant. Okay. Okay, arboricola crossed with variegated grandiflorus. Fruit harvested August 18th. Okay. Then I have seeds here that are of a self-fertile Candicans hybrid, Sörensia candicans. very small seeds and a lot of them, quite a lot. The fruits were really big, huge size. Could be edible, but I didn't want to try them. I hate fruit. I'm not a fruity guy. Okay. And overall, I think there must be 500 seeds here. So I think my smartphone will carry me 10 more minutes or so. Hey mate, welcome to the stream. Happy Christmas. Great to have you around. I'm just cleaning cactus seeds here. And yeah, did a lot of other stuff before. Bringing the Christmas spirit back here. So let me see here. The plant here where this fruit came from, it was full of fruits. Every flower it had turned into a fruit, and it was, I think, 5 or 6. At that point, when you see so many, so many fruits at once, whether you need to ask yourself if it's self-fertile or not. And in that moment, I definitely felt like it. I didn't pollinate one of the flowers to try it out, and that one also fully developed, not only developed the fruit, but it was full of seeds also. That's usually a good sign that something is self-fertile. And it happens a lot with certain hybrids, with certain Gräser hybrids, follow-up hybrids of Gräser hybrids. I don't know what it is that turns them self-fertile. Maybe from the Aporo cactus that is in the Gräser hybrids. I'm not sure. Candicans is self-fertile, but I'm not sure under which circumstances. It isn't always self-fertile, just often. Might have to do with certain populations that have been influenced by nearby other cacti that grew nearby. It's hard to tell right now. Okay. Taking a little bit more out here, just cleaning very roughly. And then I will bag them. These are not so high on my list of priorities because I have so many seeds of them. Every other bag was also full of seeds like this one. Okay. Okay. This was also harvested on August 30th. On those days, I also took photos of the of the position of the fruit in case I want to look into a certain cross a little bit closer. So I often wrote down that number, the date. Okay, so these are with Charm hybrid with Telegonoides. Charm is another one of those hybrids where I feel like it might be self-fertile. It's another one of those huge fruits full of seeds. I've seen a bunch of different hybrids and they all had different kind of flowers. But I had the feeling also that it is from just natural variety that you get from growing from seeds. And that genetically, this is a borderline self-fertile plant also. Okay. And these are pretty clean already. The mother plant had 3 fruits, also 3 different fruits, and all 3 developed fully from only 3 flowers also. So 100% success rate, very suspicious. It happens, I often have plants where they all set fruit just because you had luck, because the parents that you used, they worked perfectly. So you suspect that they might be self-fertile, and later on you realize that some of the pollinations don't take, and you then later see that it's actually fully a normal hybrid cross. But yeah, it happens a lot with these. A lot of Candicans hybrids are able to grow fruit without being pollinated. Okay. And also the huge amount of seeds that you have here from one fruit. If I would have to guess, this is more than 1,000 seeds. Maybe 1,200. Just one fruit, and the fruit was pretty big too. That's what makes them potentially useful for people who like the fruit. But they might very well taste terrible, I can't tell you. Okay, full bag of seeds. Syrensia, Candicans, whatever. Let me see what's on there. Charm. Fruit harvested on August 30th. Okay. 1 of 3. So I'm getting the warning that the smartphone is down to 15%. So I will probably go offline very soon. But let me say it again, Merry Christmas to everyone. And I'm always happy to have a chat, over Christmas. I'll be around. I'll be in touch. If you're bored, don't know what to do, just send a comment and I will probably get back. And apart from that, I hope you have a great time. I hope you can recover from the life that's been pretty stressful lately. So yeah, I wish you a great time with your families or all alone. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you enjoy it, that you have a great time. And yeah, I wish you a Merry Christmas, and I'll be back probably later today even. I will be recharging the smartphone, and I might do another one later. Okay, so thank you guys for participating, for being here in the stream. I really love it. Today it was super interesting, super nice people always around. So yeah, thank you for being here. And I will probably be back later towards the evening doing another one for the different time zones. Okay, so thank you guys. Until the next time. Happy Christmas.